external forces a business cannot control, but the positive effect must be maximized and minimize the negative effects. Before forming a business, owners are conducting PESTEL. So what is PESTEL? PESTEL stands for Political, Economic, Social, Technology, Legal, and Environmental. It is an analysis to make a strategy on reducing the effects of these external factors. Owner must make a decision of how these factors must be addressed, for it has direct influence on how business will achieve its goals. Now, we're going to discuss about the government impact on business. As shown as the illustration 1.1, the proposed 2019 budget by sector is an example. A government budget is a financial plan of a government for a specified period of time. Most of the time in fiscal year, which exhibit the resources available and how it will be collected and spent over the year. The budget is the government's main instrument to promote its objective in different aspects such as socio-economic objectives, promote welfare of the public and others. The priority of the budget is the social service, which accounts 36.7 of the budget. Social service focus on programs and projects for education, housing, health, and social welfare that will elevate the lives of Filipinos. The second priority is the economic service, accounting 28.4%, amounting to 1,068.4 billion pesos. Economic service are program and project of the government to boost the country's economy by way of expanding investment in infrastructure, tourism, trade, and escalate the generation of employment opportunities. In the next illustration, the 1.2, the proposed 2019 budget by major expenses items. Conversely, illustration 1.2 exhibits the properties of budget based on the expenses, like, for instance, the top priorities is the personal service expenses, which represents the fund for the payment of the following. First is the salaries, wages, and other kinds of compensation of all the government employees regarding of status. Next is the hiring of additional teachers, police officers, and jail guards. The third is the pension of military and uniformed personnel. The government influences the business by maintaining and improving the status of the country economy. Example, the Department of Public Works and Highway, or the DPWH, and the Department of Trade and Industry, or the DTI, jointly agreed on the funding of the roads and bridges, which will lead in boosting the business and trade areas. This is to support the industry and trade development program of the government. This decision of the program or the program of the government will elevate the trading and business even in the remote areas in the country, and to ensure the equitable opportunities and contribute and equally benefit from socio-economic growth.
Household impact on business. The household impact on business can be significant as households are the primary consumer of goods and service. The demand for this good and service affect the market conditions and price, which in turn impact business. Additionally, households also provide the workforce for business and productivity and reliability of the workforce can greatly impact business operations. Household spending habits, such as the amount of dictionary income available for spending, can also impact the success of business in various industries. Overall, the health and stability of household are closely tied to the health and success of the business. Average number of members per household is crucial for various reasons. Budgeting and financial planning, the average number of members per household plays a vital role. Budgeting of the daily expenses such as food, utilities, and housing costs. Households can analyze their income and expenditure by calculating an average number of members per household. Resource allocation. Information regarding the average number of members per household is used by government agencies and non-profit organizations to allocate resources and benefits like healthcare service, education program, and other social service. Market research consumers, goods, companies, and service providers utilize data on the average number of members per household to determine their target audience and create specific marketing strategy. Urban planning and infrastructure development. Accurate data regarding the average number of members per household is significant in urban planning and infrastructure development as it helps in determining the demand for essential public facilities like school, hospital, and public transportation. Population. An increase in population can lead to a larger market for goods and services, positively impact business. However, an aging population may result in a decline in market demand for certain products. A business must be profitable to survive, and households provide the markets for goods and services provided by businesses. Households are not simply a source of business demand but are also components of business function and production itself. The role of household and business in economic cycle is household case good and service which business provide through the product market business meanwhile need resource in order to produce goods and service member of household provide labor to business through the resource market. In turn, business convert those resources into goods and service. Household example in economics is household or all the people who live together and who make joint economics decision. Your family is a household and a person living on his or her own is a household. Communes of friends who live in the one house and share the expenses also form of household. A business required labor to function and business owner, manager, and employees are also belong to household. The business provides wage in exchange for labor, which contribute to household income. The role of household and business in economic cycle is household case good and service which business provide through the product market business meanwhile need resource in order to produce goods and service member of household provide labor to business through the resource market. In turn, business convert those resources into goods and service. Households play a significant role in success of business. The way households spend their money can significantly affect the demand for goods and service, which can in turn impact the profitability of business. Consumer confidence can also impact business success. Additionally, households are the key component of labor force and the availability and capacity of the labor force can impact business ability to operate smoothly. When households experience financial stress or have limited access to resource, a ripple effect on business as well. Overall, the relationship between household and business is a complex and interconnected, and both are essentially to thriving economy. The household impact on business is a crucial because households drive the economy. They are primary consumer of goods and service, and their action can greatly impact business performance. For instance, if households reduce their spending due economic uncertainty, business may experience a decline in sales, which can lead to job losses and reduce profits. Similarly, if households increase their spending, business can benefit from increased demand leading to higher profits and job creation. Apart from consumption, households also play the significant role in other business aspects such as labor supply, investment, and entrepreneurship. They supply business with labor through wage employment, and they also invest in business through the savings. Furthermore, household can create small business which can contribute significantly to the economy in terms of job creation and economic growth. Overall, the household impact on business cannot be overlooked, and business need to be aware of the needs and behavior of household to succeed in any market.
Trade and capital flow. These are external factors that configure that the foreign exchange market, foreign currency inflows and outflows through trading, capital movements, and financial flows. Training includes remittance from overseas contract workers and profit remittances of foreign companies to their domestic countries. Capital movements include both short and long-term foreign investments in the country and investments abroad of residents of the Philippines. Financial flows involves international borrowings and loans and their repayments. A record of all economic transactions between a country and the rest of the world refers to balance of payment, which is BOP. It can also refer to a foreign currency, usually in dollars, inflows less outflows. Now, what is trade and capital flows? Capital flow is a movement of money for the four. Capital flows is the investment or movement of money for the purpose of investment, trade, or business production. The example of capital flows are is a transaction between U.S. residents and residents of foreign countries. The examples are loans, bank deposits, drafts, acceptances, notes, government and private debt, and equity securities and intracompany accounts for financial direct investments. What is trade flow? Trade flow means the flow of imports and exports, their components and directions. Trade flow analysis helps to examine patterns of trade, trend of flow, concentration, or the extent of diversion and improvements required in particular destinations, value, and supply chains. The example of trade is Liam and Henry will exchange food and wool with each other. The example is Henry has food but he needs wool, where William has wool but Henry needs food. So William and Henry will exchange food and wool with each other so that William gets food and Henry gets wool, making them both satisfied. Now, this is an example of trade. Trade is you trade something to the other party so that both of you will get satisfied and benefit from the trade you have done. And why is trade flow and capital flow important? It is important to understand the complex and dynamic nature of international trade and capital flows because investment opportunities are increasingly exposed to the forces of global competition for market and capital ideas. Balance of payments or aggregate receipt that shares all the money transferring coming in and out of the country in different areas of the economy within a certain time period. This is very important indicator of the country's external stability and shed some light into the country's relationship with the global economy around the globe. In economic sense, if a BOP is a surplus, this means that exports exceed imports or that more foreign currencies are being sold for pesos than those being bought with pesos. In contrast, a BOP is a deficit means import exceeding exports or foreign countries are being sold for pesos than those being bought with pesos. Now, why is it important to study the balance of payments? Because balance of payments is a summary of the economic transactions of a country with the rest of the world for a specific period. It also serves as an accounting statement of economic dealings within the residents of country and non-residents. Balance of payments, it records all the transactions of a country and for the rest of the world.
In this illustration 2.3, the calcular flow and the system net flow. So, I'm going to explain how this flow works. First, the factor of production, the land, labor, capital, and the entrepreneurship will stand on the household. So, our main factor is the household. The products and service or the goods came from the household, which will be transferred to the firm. So, the firm will distribute the factor payments, which is the rent, wages, interest, and profit back to the household by revenues. The next, the importation will be on the household because the household is the factor of the production. This is where the goods and service, and then they will make product so they can bring it to the firms. Next, then we have here is the exportation. So remember that the exportation will always on the firm. Okay? We will export out of the country, but mostly we always export on Asia. Why? Because we're in an Asian country, we're in the continent of Asia, and mostly our product is always or are most likely eat or used by us Asians. And because of the taxes, if we export our product on the other, like the Europe, the taxes will expand as the exportation takes longer, or the far as the exportation went, the larger the wages are. So, mostly, we only export in the Asian countries because we Asian loves our own product and not like the other countries. For example, is the Europe. They will not like our product Not that they don't like it, they're just not used to it. So we keep on just exporting our product on the Asian countries or those countries that near to us and we have the same thing. Exportation will always be on firms. Why? Because the household make the product that will go to the firm and the firm will export the product to other countries. And that is how the circular flow and system net flow works.
Imports play a crucial role in the economy of a country. Here are some of the key importance of imports by commodity of goods. Number 1. Meeting the domestic demand. Imports fulfill the demand for goods and services that cannot be adequately supplied domestically. This helps to ensure a steady supply of essentials, commodities, and prevent shortage that could disrupt economic activities and affect consumers. 2. There's diversifying consumers' choices. Imports provide consumers with a wider range of choices and access to products that may not be available or produced domestically. This promotes competition, improves production quality, and allows consumers to benefit from variety of options and different price points. Number 3. Supporting economic growth. Imports of raw materials, intermediate goods, and capital goods and essential for various industries. These imports enable businesses to produce goods and services, expand their operations, and contribute to overall economic growth. Industries such as manufacturing, construction, and infrastructure heavily rely on imported inputs. 4. Technology and knowledge transfer. Imports often bring advantage technology, expertise, and knowledge to a country. By importing a capital, goods, and machinery, countries can access the latest technology and improve their production processes. This helps enhance productivity, efficiency, and competitiveness in domestic industries. Number 5. Completing domestic product. Imports can complement domestic production by filling gaps in supply or providing inputs that are not really available domestically. This allows industry to access cost-effective inputs, reduce production costs, and improve their competitiveness in both the domestic and international markets. 6. Supporting international trade and diplomacy. Imports contribute to international trade relationship and promote diplomatic ties country between importing goods, economic interdependence, and foster cooperation and collaborations in various sectors. It also facilitates trade negotiations and can lead to a development of bilateral or multilateral trade agreements. Meeting consumer preference. That's number 7. Imports enable country to cater to a specific consumer preference and cultural diversity. Importing goods from different regions or countries allow consumers to access products that align with their tastes, preference, and cultural requirements. It's important to note it's important to note that while imports having bring various benefits, countries also need to carefully manage their trade balance, monitor the impact on domestic industries, and ensure fair competition and adherence to regulations and standards. By major type of goods, export of manufactured goods accounted for 83.9% of the total export, or a value of USD 4.82 billion in December 2019. It went up by 19.2% from USD 4.04 billion. Export value registered in December 2018 as shown in the illustration 2.5. It is also shown that our country imports as much as we export. It will be interpreted as we hardly earn foreign countries, nevertheless, as we slowly shift our country in coping with advancement of technologies. Local production should be focused on to produce more export quality products. Government support for the local producers like funding for the access to more advanced technology. Philippine economy has slowly switching from agrarian to industrial-oriented type of economy. As shown, as shown in the illustration 2.4, the country imports more electronic and equipment products as investment as capital goods for the development of production process in different sector of economy. The advancement of technology can eventually lead us to fully have industrial type of economy.